MySQLServer.com downloads page. You can find a link to this page in the description below. We're going to scroll down to the MySQL Community Downloads once we're on this page and click on that in the description below. We're going to scroll down to the MySQL Community Downloads once we're on this page and click on that. That's going to take us to a whole page of the MySQL Community Downloads. What we want for Windows is the MySQL installer. So go ahead and click on that, where it'll take us to a page of the latest version, which as of this video is 8.0.22 of the MySQL installer. We'll hit download here. If you need any of the archived or older versions, you can click on the link on the previous page, and then it's going to take us to this page where it's going to ask us if we're going to want to create an Oracle Web account. We don't need that for the MySQL download to start, so we'll just hit no thanks, start my download, and the MSI now is downloaded to our browser. Downloads pretty quickly, and we'll go ahead and open that up now. Alright, so when we open up the MySQL installer, it's going to ask us to select the setup type. We're just going to leave all of this as the defaults. So we're going to install the developer default. It's going to install all the different products for MySQL development, MySQL Server, the SQL Shell, the router, Workbench. Obviously, this video is about installing the SQL Server and Workbench instance, as well as MySQL for Visual Studio and other various MySQL connectors here. Now, MySQL has prompted us because we are missing a couple failed requirements. So in order to install the MySQL for Visual Studio 1.2.9, we need a Visual Studio version 2015, 2017, or 2019. For this video, we're not looking to install that, but if you were looking to install that, then you would go and have to actually download those Visual Studio versions, so 2015, 17, or 2019. And when those are installed, you can just click check there, as well as the connector for Python as well. So if you wanted to download the connector for Python, you need Python 2.7, 3.5, 3.7, or 3.8. And once those are downloaded, you can check. But for the purpose of this video, we're just going to continue past these requirements and head on to the next page. So we'll just go ahead and click next here and continue on. Okay, so this is where we're going to actually start the download. So it's going to let us know that everything's ready to install. So all we have to do is click execute, and it's going to install all of the products listed on the page. Okay, so now that everything is installed, all the products have been installed successfully, everything's completed, we'll just go ahead and click next and actually configure the products. So we need to configure the MySQL server first. We'll go ahead and just leave the default server configuration for this. As always, MySQL defaults to port 3306. We'll use the strong password encryption method, the recommended method for the password, and then we'll just set the root password here. Remember to make a note of the root password, as you'll need this to log into your local MySQL instance. And then we'll just keep the default settings for the Windows service, hit next, and then we're just going to execute all of the configuration steps, apply the configuration. It lets us know it's initializing the database, starts the server, and our configuration is complete. So now we just have to finish configuring the rest of the products that we installed. So just MySQL router, we'll leave the basic configuration for that. And then the MySQL samples and examples, we'll just put in the root password that we had from before, check that password, apply the configuration for that. Basically, just default configurations, hit finish, hit next, and our installation is complete. And the last thing that we want to do is just ensure that Workbench and MySQL Server both installed successfully. So we'll go ahead and look up Workbench in our Windows Start app. It's now installed. We now have a local MySQL instance running on it with a host name of localhost, port 3306, and our root user. So we'll go ahead and close that and try to connect to that local MySQL instance with the password that we entered during the configuration. we'll go ahead and enter that password, and now we are connected to our local MySQL instance where we can create a new schema, do whatever we need to on that local MySQL instance in Workbench. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments below, and if the video was helpful, please like and subscribe. Thanks.